Hello there, everybody. Nate and Micah here for the Renegades. We're doing a little bit of a quick bit here with. I told Mike about this in a video we just reacted to. Was the Fahnholz, the haunted school death run that we did?
Yeah. So I have no idea what's going on. I've heard of the Boondocks,
but you've never taken the.
I really know much about it. Otherwise,
that's fine. I mean, I was a huge fan of the show for like the first 4 seasons of it. I kind of tapered off on watching it. I might go back and watch the rest of it because, from what I hear, it's actually still doing really good. But anyway, Micah said he liked the word ruckus. He said he was a very big fan of the word ruckus.
It's a fun word.
It is. It is a fun word. And I thought to myself, I wonder if he has ever heard of Uncle Ruckus.
I have not.
Okay, well, Micah, here's a little bit of an intro bit on Uncle Ruckus. Imagine, like, the most racist uncle that you've had, that you know. Imagine, like, the most racist uncle that you could know.
Okay, like the movie stereotype or something.
Well, yes.
I mean, my uncles are pretty cool, so.
And he's completely racist against black people. Completely. I mean, says every derogatory term towards them that he can think of.
Doesn't sound very nice.
But here's the kicker. He's a black man who thinks he's white. It's weird. But he's arguably the most popular and the funniest character on the Boondocks show. And actually, there was actually a little bit of I think I remember a couple years ago, there was actually a thing like wanting there were a bunch of people out there like, Ruckus is too insensitive. Ruckus needs to be taken off the show. And Aaron Magruder, the creator, was just like, no. And just he doesn't have, because Aaron Magruder doesn't pander to that shit.
Right.
Aaron Magruder, he's sort of a polar opposite of you. You know, he's a bit of a communist. But
well, I feel like if you wrote the character that way and produced it, you're not really gonna care that people don't like it, because obviously he was written to be kind of a controversial character.
Well,
from the sounds of it. So
of course, and
sounds like he accomplished what he set out to do. I guess.
Well, exactly. I remember the first episode of the Boondocks. Uncle Ruckus, actually, because the first time we meet Uncle Ruckus, because he's a security guard at a posh, upper crust white bread dinner party. You know the suits.
Mm-hmm.
Like the suits. People get dressed up perfect and all that. Most powerful people in the world. Anyway, he's a security guard there, and everyone's like really lax and everything, and just like in complete party mode, and like upper class party mode. You're like, oh, don't mind him, it's perfectly fine. But then all of a sudden, Uncle Ruckus sees the Freemans coming. Riley, let's see, Huey, Riley, and Grandpa Freeman coming, and he's like, security, we got a code black. It's like, Ruckus, there is no code black. It's like, we got a bunch of black people out front. I don't think they're supposed to be here. What y'all doing over here? And yeah, no, I know. If y'all haven't seen the Boondocks, give it a watch. It's actually a really funny show. But Micah, I'm choosing to show this to Micah. This is from, I think, an episode from season 2. Oh no, season 3. I think this is from season 3. It's where Grandpa Freeman is talking to Tom. Tom is the most white acting dude in the show, and he's the guy in the middle. He's married to a white woman who is, like completely obsessed with, being NAACP and all that.
What is white? How does one act white?
He properly enunciate, like, okay. He properly enunciates everything. He obeys. He's the most stale-breaded, the stereotypical white person. Always obeying the speed limit, never, always interacting pleasantly with everybody, wanting to avoid confrontation as much as possible, and overall just being interested in living a very drab and very droll life that includes very little excitement. That's the stereotype of, like, white middle-class Americans.
Oh.
White middle-class Americans, they're content with just being in this little box of just contentment, and they have no wish to escape it because they're comfortable. And that's kind of how he acts. And there's several funny plot lines with Tom as well, where he has to confront several things that scare him, including, number one, he is afraid of being sent as a black man. He's afraid of being sent to prison and being prison raped very viciously.
I mean, I'm also kind of scared of that.
I think I am too. It's just his illogical fear of it. It means like he always drives below the speed limit, so he doesn't even get come close to getting pulled over because he's afraid I'm going to get pulled over and I'm going to get thrown in prison. I'm going to get fucked in the ass, and pretty much that's how he feels.
Yeah, that's the world we live in today. You got to be afraid of that stuff.
You do.
The U.S. has an insanely high prison population.
Over 2 million.
And not for good reasons.
Yeah, over 2 million people in prison in this country. Unbelievable. But anyway, let's get to the clip. This is they're all going for a run in the park. Tom and Ruckus are there to kind of provide support to Grandpa for him giving up on Facebook and giving up on dating and women and everything. And this occurs. Oh, damn it.
I read your Facebook suicide note, man. Oh, I'm really sorry.
I'm not just giving up on Facebook. I'm giving up on women. It's pointless. These women out here are insane.
Robert, the key to happiness is to eliminate all black women from your life. I mean, look at me. No black women in my life. Look how happy I am. I'm happy as a nigga with a new gun.
Now, Ruckus, that is preposterous.
Oh, preposterous. Preposterous. Really. Answer me a question. Is you happy?
Sure am.
Uh-huh. See? No black women in his life neither. Nigga free, and that's how he need to be.
Just because I'm married to a white woman doesn't mean there's a single thing wrong with black women.
True, but you did marry a white woman.
You have to find the woman who makes you happy, Robert.
Well, black women don't want to be happy. They squeeze out about 7 or 8 of them little nappy-headed chillin' by the time they 21. It's all downhill from there. Look at that. Oh, that woman's body over there, that's a temple. A black woman's body is a temple of doom. When was the last time you saw a black woman jogging, Robert? Ask yourself that question. And I ain't talking about them super steroided she-males in the Olympics that tuck their testicles up either.
Well, come to think of it.
That's what I thought. You ain't never seen it. Because black women don't jog. That way they don't sweat out all them industrial strength toxic Avenger chemicals they use to straighten out their hair.
Sarah loves to jog.
Well, of course she do. Sarah is a human being.
Okay, fellas, enough of the guy talk, jibber-jabber, talky talk. Can we just start running already? Come on!
You coming?
I ain't running with y'all 2 niggas in the park. Police might shoot me by mistake. See you on the other side, nigga!
That's Uncle Ruckus.
Wow.
Quite a character, huh?
That was absolutely bananas. It's so mean.
He is. He's the most coarse and most unscrupulous son of a bitch in the world, and his situation is ridiculous.
He just basically called black women's lady parts the Temple of Doom. Like, I just like, whoa!
They sweat out all them toxic Avenger chemicals and shit from their hair. Is that why you don't go jogging? Because you got all them toxic Avenger chemicals in your hair?
The only time I run is if something's chasing me.
Oh, there you go. Well, you're skinny enough to where you really don't have to, your cardio is probably really good, even if you don't run.
I get obstacles in between me and whatever's chasing me. I'm a really good climber.
There you go. Hey, that's how you do it.
What did we just watch?
Oh, this, like I said, this is from the Boondocks. This is from, I think, season 3 of the Boondocks. Uncle Ruckus on black women. It is like I said, man, Uncle Ruckus, he has some very funny plot lines happen. Like, there's one scene where he's working in a hospital and he's like mopping the floor, singing a song, and all of a sudden three like gangbangers come up with guns and like point guns at him. He's like, "Where's Gangstalicious?" All of a sudden in the background you hear like this little noise, and Uncle Ruckus goes, "Could you repeat that? I couldn't understand you over the sound of me shitting myself."
Oh man.
And some of the funniest, like, okay, there's actually one episode in this that actually deals with like a supposed character from the past by the name of Catcher Freeman, and supposedly he's like the ancestor of Grandpa Freeman and Huey and Riley. And there are 3 different interpretations throughout it, because Grandpa Freeman tells his side of the story, which plays out like, one of those old exploitation films set on slavery plantation, kind of like Django Unchained.
Mm-hmm.
Plays out like a lot like Django Unchained. And then you have Uncle Ruckus's story, which plays out a lot like Birth of a Nation by what's his name? I forget. It's gonna come back to me. But like all black people are like foaming at the mouth, like eyes rolled in the back of their head, and they're just vicious animals. And including one by the name of Catcher Freeman, who is a world famous runaway slave catcher in his version of the story.
Huh.
Whereas Catcher Freeman in Grandpa's side of the story is the Django and Django Unchained. And then Huey comes in. He's like, "Wait a second, guys. Actually, I found a historical article here that's got several citations and sources." And he actually like reads out the actual history of Catcher Freeman. And then both of them, like at the end of it, like Grandpa Freeman's like, "Oh, that's bullshit, boy. The story I told you's the truth." And then Uncle Ruckus is like, "Where'd you get this? MadeUpMonkeyShit.com?" And like neither of them could accept the truth because they both had their ideal stories in their head. And it's actually really funny stuff. And there's actually an episode that they actually banned from airing because Aaron Magruder hates BET. He hates black entertainment television because he says that it points out all the negative stereotypes, and he doesn't like how that's constantly portrayed and is readily available for the young mind to consume, and shapes a young mind into being this vapid, just vapid, non-growing individual, and instead is a permanent adolescent because that's what they've been exposed to as a child, and they never grow up and they don't grow up in a good with a good educational thing to show them what's right and what's wrong, what's good and what's bad, and the importance of actually saving your frickin' money instead of spending it on ridiculous shit, which everybody's guilty of. I mean, hell, I try my damnedest to keep from spending on stuff, but almost everything I buy is like has a purpose and has a use. But you see, this is a very like crazy ass show, and I love it.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Oh yeah, and if you, like I said, guys out there, if you haven't seen the Boondocks, give it a watch. It's one of the funniest shows ever. Like especially on Adult Swim. Like it debuted on Adult Swim, and it like shook everything up, and I like that. So yeah, if you all have seen it, feel free to make a comment about how if this is your first time seeing it, tell me what you think down below in the comment section. Micah, what did you think of that?
I have no idea what to think about this.
Yeah, left Micah speechless. So I guess mission accomplished, I guess. So yeah, this was Uncle Ruckus on Black Women from the Boondocks. I guess if you want to see more, their show's readily available online at adultswim.com, and I think it's also available on Hulu and several other streaming websites, so feel free to check it out there. But I guess until next time, signing off for the Renegades, I'm Nate.
Micah.
And we'll see you later, everyone. Peace out.